Fake doctors in the fitness industry. Oh no. Yes, fake doctors in the fitness industry. This isn't something new, but I think it's going to be something that's going to suddenly become more popular as far as discussions. Just throwing that out there. Maybe I had a conversation with someone. First off, we need to have some background here. So one, this is not about the Lane Norton thing where he accused Anthony Chafee of not being a real doctor. We're not going to get into that. Lane actually sued someone for calling him a fake natty, and I think he actually won. So, that would be kind of a big deal to accuse someone of being a fake doctor. And then, apparently Chafee's lawyer sent Lane proof that, Anthony Chafee really is a doctor. That's not what this is about. This is about fake doctors. Now, the first thing we need to get out of the way here is that anyone can call themselves doctor. You can start calling yourself doctor today. You don't have to go by Mr. or Mrs. anymore. You can just start calling yourself doctor. Doctor is not a protected title. So you can be Dr. Bob. You can be Dr. Joe. You can be Dr. Zach. You can be Dr. Matt. It doesn't matter. You can just call yourself doctor. You do not have to have a doctorate to call yourself doctor. Now, what you can't do, you can't put your name down and be like Chad Chili, MD. Can't do that. Now, if you have a PhD, you can put PhD after your name, but you can't say, Chad MD. You can't say, Chad DO. You can't say Chad DPT. If you have a DS or a PhD, you can put DS or PhD after your name. You can do that. That is protected, though. Okay? So you can't just put your name down and put PhD after your name. That's a protected title. You can call yourself doctor, whatever you want, but you can't put the letters after your name, okay? So, if you're Dr. Matt or Dr. Joe or Dr. Steve, that's fine. But you can't be Steve PhD if you don't actually have a PhD. You can't be Joe MD. You can't be, Matt DPT, okay? So anyways, one of the things we have in the fitness industry, though, is we have people who actually do have their doctorate. They do. They have a PhD or they have whatever. However, once you start talking to them, it gets really weird. You ask them, where'd you go? And they don't tell you where they went to school. That should be a red flag to you. If anyone asks me where I went to school, I'm very proud to tell them I went to Pitt. I'm very open about it. I'm like, I went to Pitt. So you ask people where they went to school and they avoid that question, that should be a red flag to you right there. The secondary, when you ask people, what'd you do your dissertation on? And then they avoid that question too. Why would you avoid telling someone what you did your dissertation on? Even if you were ABD, all but dissertation, you probably had a topic at the very least that you were working on, like for myself, glucocorticoids, right? Glucocorticoid therapy and the treatment of oligodendroglioma, right? Big mouthful of words. It just means a certain drug that we use to treat brain cancer. Anyways, point being, if you ask people, hey, where'd you go to grad school and what'd you do your dissertation on? People will tell you where they went to school and they will tell you what they did their dissertation on. Not all dissertations get published, by the way. I know that that's a common thing that people believe. Journals don't always publish your paper. Sometimes you wrote something that journals are like, that's not going to be popular, so we don't want to publish it. There's a lot of papers that don't get published. Anyways, point being here, you'll come across people who avoid telling you where they went to school, and then they also avoid telling you what they did their dissertation on. Weird. Right. Why would they do that? And the reason why they do that is because what they did is they went to one of these diploma mills. They went to these fake schools. They went to like an online school, right? So like I live in the US and I went to, I don't know, some school in France or something. So I've never actually been to the campus. And then you look up the school and you find out that it's basically a situation where you just pay them and they give you your doctorate. They give you it based on life experience. So you don't even have to do a dissertation. You just have to check the boxes off and say, yeah, life experience. Or I wrote a book, and they'll count that as your dissertation. I wrote a book. I did. I have a couple books, actually. I have a book on football nutrition that I wrote years ago with Chris Barnard, Elliot Hulse. This is like way back. This is like 2013 or some shit. If I went to one of these schools, they would count that as my dissertation. But it's literally just a book talking about eating more food and eating and timing your meals around training and doing two-a-days, making sure you're getting enough food in when you have two-a-day practices for football. Anyways, the point being here, okay, there are individuals in the fitness space, even in some of them are in really high positions at certain organizations that I don't want to name, certain societies, and these people went to a fake school. If you look up that school, you'll find it on Wikipedia very quickly, and it will tell you it's a diploma mill, it's a fake school. Even on Wikipedia, it'll tell you it's a fake school. Or you'll find Reddit threads where people are like, this is a fake school, but you can just buy your PhD or buy your doctorate or whatever it is. Yes, that's a thing. You will find that very, very often. That's a popular thing in fitness. A lot of these people that go by doctor and tell you that they're a doctor, they went to a fake online school and just purchased their doctorate. Something to think about. Anyways, then you also have some of these people who are MDs that don't have a medical license. And that's kind of a weird thing too, because it's like, why would you go through all the trouble of medical school, but then not get a medical license? And then you find out where they went to school and it's like some weird school that you've never heard of. That's like in the, I don't know, fucking Bahamas or some shit. You know, I went to this school, the School of Medicine of Nigeria or something. And it's like, you've never actually been there though. You've never left the US. So like, how could you can't go to medical school online. There's no online medical schools, but yet you'll find people that have their MD from an online medical school. These are not accredited programs. Okay. So it's not even accredited, but you know, you don't have to go to an accredited program to have a doctorate. You have a PhD from a program that isn't accredited. And that's just one of those things where it's like life experience. Yeah. So, like I said, there are many individuals that fit this. I'm not going to call them all out by name. I don't feel like dealing with the arguing back and forth, but I'm just letting you know that if someone tells you that they're a doctor, ask them where they went to school. And if they don't tell you, that's a red flag. Ask them what they did their dissertation on. And if they don't tell you, that's another red flag. And then if they do tell you where they went, look up the school and see whether or not it's accredited. And then also just go ahead and take a browse through Reddit and see whether or not that school is one of those online schools that you can just buy your doctorate or buy your master's. Lots of people do that. Lots of people just buy a degree. Can't blame them. I mean, technically we all bought our degrees, right? We all had to pay for it. But some of these were rigorous programs where you actually had to pass things. And you actually had to earn those grades. And then some of these you just paid and they gave you a piece of paper. So there you guys have it. Just something for you to think about. Keep an eye out. I think you're going to see some stories on this in the very near future.